If you're struggling with GCSE RE but you also want to get a 9, you have clicked at the right video today, because today I'll be sharing with you all my top 10 tips on how to really get that 9 in a GCSE RE. So if you're interested to find out the tips, then please keep watching this video till the end. So these top 10 tips have been gathered based on these 3 areas. Number 1 is based on my own personal experience on what are the mistakes I have made in my GCSE years. Number 2 is of course based on my own sisters, teachers and comments and advices, and based on how to really get that 9 in that particular subject. And number 3 is of course based on research on the internet, for example watching a lot of YouTube videos and free blogs and whatever that might be. So I've gathered all this information together in this one video so that you don't really have to watch any other videos, I believe. And so yeah, so if you're interested to find out the top 10 tips, then please keep watching this video till the end. Before I begin with the advanced tips, I want to make sure that you're doing these 4 basic things already. Number 1 is making sure that you're looking at the mark schemes, examiners' reports, as well as teachers' comments on how to really improve your grade and how to really improve your answers and how to actually make points that are actually going to give you the marks instead of just waffling around when you're actually answering the questions. Number 2 is making sure that you're using as many past papers as possible and practicing a lot of them well before the exam so that you know exactly, and familiarizing yourself with the question types that you might be getting for RE, as well as on how to really answer those questions and what kind of questions you actually might get in the exam and which ones actually get repeated a lot of times. Number 3 is making sure that you're looking at as many resources as possible which are very free, available online, for example YouTube videos, documentaries, or flashcards such as Quizlet or whatever that might be, and you're actually implementing them into your revision session. And number 4 is of course sending as much as work as possible to your own teachers through email, or this could be also face-to-face, for example during lunchtime or even after school. So in that way you're benefiting yourself in getting that 9. So now we're going to be moving on to the first tip, or advanced first tip, and that is to make sure that you're using your flashcards really wisely. So when you actually want to have 2 sets of flashcards for RE. So the first one is for long answers only, and you're writing points for those and how to structure those answers really well. And this side will be for the basic information, for example Christianity, Islam, and whatever that might be, whatever topic there is that you have to learn. You have to make sure that you're creating 2 sets of flashcards, one for long answers and one for actual basic information, because content is key, and if you don't know the content, then you can never write a good answer anyway. So you want to make sure that you're using the flashcards really wisely and you're revising these as much as possible and as many times as you can so that the content is basically stuck into your head. Tip number 2 is making sure that you're creating some kind of summary sheets or summary notes or consolidating notes of all the topics in an A4 sheet of paper, so that you have only that paper that you actually need only for your exam revision and your exam sessions as well. So you want to make sure that you're creating these consolidated notes by gathering information from different kind of resources that you have found and information that you found everywhere. For example, textbook, online, from school, from any other books or documentaries that you may have watched, or even a YouTube video that you may have watched about that particular topic. You want to make sure that you're gathering all those things in one sheet of paper, in one A4 paper, and you want to make sure that you're revising this over and over again. And whenever you are in the exam season, or when the exam season is approaching, which is right now, you want to make sure you're using that sheet of paper as many times as possible, especially when you're trying to remember information and also whenever you're trying to answer the question. So create a good summary sheet or consolidating notes that you can use on a daily basis. Tip number 3 is making sure that you're creating your own essay questions or questions in general that you might think that might be coming up in the exam based on the topics that you have been already given by the teachers anyway. So you want to make sure that you're creating your own questions, and I've actually repeated this particular tip also for maths, because I believe that the more you can create your own questions and make your own past paper, then you'll exactly know where you're actually weak and wherever you're actually falling behind or you might need to work on much further, and also which topics are actually very confident and you can actually do them really well. So you want to make sure that you're making your own questions and answering them. And also the best part about RE is that you can actually write your own answers and own points and own evidences to support those points, and then you can actually show it to the teacher, as I've already mentioned before in tip number 4. And you want to make sure that you have this good set of practice as much as possible just before the exam, so that you're very confident in all the topics and you're not being afraid or nervous as to which question is going to come, and you're going to be feeling very nervous. So you want to make sure that you're creating your own questions, answering them, and then showing it to the teacher. Tip number 4 is making sure that you're researching different viewpoints for different types of religions that you might be learning in this particular subject matter. For example, if you're talking about Christianity or Islam, in your long answer, you want to make sure that you're writing arguments that are against the the religion that you might be talking about. For example, if it's Christianity or Islam, you want to make sure that you're writing some kind of points that are actually very unique, very original, and some things that the examiners may have never heard before. So you want to make sure that you're researching independently on some kind of arguments that are for and against as well the particular religions that you might be talking about in the long questions. And in this way, you will make sure that you are standing out, as I already mentioned before, and in that way your answers will look more structured, more put together, and also more up-to-date information as well, which examiners might find it very impressive, because nowadays no one actually likes to research and stuff. So you want to make sure that you're actually creating different kinds of viewpoints and trying to basically plan them well before actually writing the answers. Tip number 5 is making sure that you always write which side of the argument you actually agree with in the essay or in the conclusion of a long essay answer. In that way, we show that you know exactly that you have done your research now, you have written your points, you have written your evidence, and now which side do you agree with and why. You want to make sure you're writing this down in the conclusion section of the essay. And also along with that, I want you to make sure that you're not writing too much and too waffling, but also not too little at the same time, because quality is over quantity. You don't want to make sure that you're writing 5 pages in the answer booklet or whatever that might be, but it's not answering the question. So you make sure that whatever points you're actually going to be writing in the exam are all relevant and answer the question, rather than actually waffling around and describing the answer or whatever that might be. So you want to make sure that you are planning your answers really, really well, and quality is over quantity all the time. And also write your viewpoint, which side do you agree with based on the research they've already written or the balance of arguments they've actually written down already in the answer. In that way, it will definitely make you stand out amongst all the other peers. Tip number 6 is making sure that you're not getting too stressed or overly stressed based on the information that has been provided for RE, because I know that RE is one of those subjects that has a lot of quantity of, or a lot of information that you have to really remember for the exam, and sometimes one simple mistake can actually make you lose a lot of marks whenever you're writing an answer. But do not feel afraid or stressed based on how much information you may have to learn, because I'm sure that this year's exams are pretty monitored by the teachers themselves, so I'm sure that they will be choosing things that are very hard or easy for you in a way, and both balance hopefully. But you want to make sure that you're not getting overly stressed, because whenever you stress, you end up losing a lot of time and energy by just thinking about things that you can't really control. So you want to make sure that whenever you are feeling stressed about how much information you have to learn for RE, you're just calming yourself down and come back to it later probably, but do not give up yourself, because everything is at the end of the day possible, and you can definitely get that 9 in a GCSE RE. This brings me to the end of today's video. I hope you really enjoyed. I found this video really helpful on how to get a 9 in your GCSE RE, and I'm sure you will definitely ace it in the exam if you follow these 10 tips. And also, if you know someone who might be undertaking their GCSE RE this year or next year, then please share this video with them so that they can also be helpful. They can also find this video really helpful for them and for their exams as well. But other than that, I do make videos on GCSE, law school, or productivity and self-growth kind of videos on a weekly basis. So if you want to be subscribed to that, then please do click the bell icon as well as the subscribe button next to it so that you can be notified first. But other than that, I will see you in my next week's video.